Hello everyone, my name is Jenny. I'm on the HCG diet. This is round number 3, day number 24, and I'm coming with an update. I am waiting this morning for a student to arrive in my class, so I'm probably recording this video and you'll never see it. But hopefully I'll get through the whole thing, and I'll be doing double time, creating a video at the same time while I'm getting paid for a class. All right. I don't have really good news today. Let me start off by saying, yesterday in bed, as I was kind of like moving around and getting comfortable, I just felt thinner. You know that great feeling you get when like you just feel like, I feel like I'm finally losing weight. I feel like I'm getting thinner. I didn't necessarily feel that way when I got dressed yesterday. I don't necessarily feel that way when I look in the mirror at my body. But I did feel that way in terms of moving around and shifting, which I move around in bed a lot. So I was very encouraged about getting on the scale today. Very excited about it. Also, I decided to switch it up. And for a few days straight, I've been having a piece of codfish with my mixed vegetables, and I decided that I am going to have chicken and not have the codfish. I put a tiny little bit of butter on the codfish. I mean, I could have just had the fish without the butter, I suppose, but I thought there's also a little bit of fat, more fat in fish anyway than there is in chicken. And a chicken breast, which is what you're supposed to eat on this diet, just chicken breast, not other parts of the chicken. So I did a decent amount of, I weighed ahead of time. It was 7.5 ounces. So that's about right. On Dr. Simeon's protocol, he says 3.5 ounces for each meal, so that would be 7, and I did 7.5 ounces. On most people's protocols these days, they say eat 4 ounces for both meals, so I was between the two at 7.5 ounces of meat. Pre-cooked weight, let me tell you, they looked much smaller after I cooked them, but still it felt substantial enough. I had a bite of chicken in every bite when I ate my vegetables, and my vegetable plate was almost all an acceptable vegetable on the plan, because we're getting near the bottom of the bag, which is almost all broccoli. So I felt very, very good. No other cheats. I got on the scale and it said 161.0. Exactly what it said yesterday. I guess I'm hitting another stall. I don't know. It seems like my scale is bizarre. I mean, it's not going up. There's the good part. But it was going up when I was having my like bacon, lettuce, and tomato salad. So that made sense because bacon is a higher fat and calorie content. And I don't know how much I was having. I just know that I was having too much. So, okay, so the scale went up for 3 days while I was having bacon. And then I decided to completely cut it out. First day on cod, I lost, back on cod and vegetables, 1.7 pounds. No, I actually gained 0.8 on that day. I'm sorry, I gained 0.8 on that day. The next day, after the cod, I was at Panera and I had the bowl of 10 vegetable soup. Lost 1.7 pounds. Then I did my fish and vegetables, lost 1.1. Then I did my fish and vegetables, lost 1.2. Then I did a little bit of salmon and vegetables, lost nothing. No, I'm sorry. I lost 1.1, but the next day I lost nothing, and I ate a lot less salmon. Then I went back to cod and vegetables and lost 1.1. So, I was like, okay, I know, and I understand what's going on here. But then the last 3 days, cod and vegetables, no cheats. Because like 2 of those other days, I also had some turkey sausages as a snack. Cod and vegetables, lost 0.1. Then the day after that, vegetables and cod lost 0.2. And then vegetables and chicken lost 0.0. I have been extremely stressed these last 3 days when I lost 0.1, 0.2, and 0. That is the only thing I can think that it is, besides the fact of just a general stall. Again, it's been a while since I've had a bowel movement, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So that comes into play as well. Still dealing with Tom, day 7. Don't you hate it when that happens? I did go back on my drops last night. Now, I wasn't hungry at all yesterday. But right before going to bed, I thought, well, Tom's winding down anyway, and I want it to kind of build back up in my system because I haven't had it for a few days. So I did take my drops last night. Not that that should really affect the scale at all, but I want to make sure the purpose of the drops is that when you're on this diet, that your body is using the calories from your fat reserves. And not the fats that you need for proper organ functioning and not from your muscles. So that is why I decided to go back on HCG, even though Tom is still happening. But, clearly day 7, we got to be getting near the end of this, right? So I'll just be in touch. I don't really have an explanation. It really was a little bit sad, but at the same time, I can see in my face the loss of fat, and that makes me feel better. In fact, I actually yesterday, not this morning, but yesterday thought, okay, I just need to stay in the 150s to not feel like my face is bloated. I feel like I'm like the little Cabbage Patch Kid because I have a full big face to begin with. So when I weight, it just gets puffier and bigger. So I feel like it's now back getting into its normal range. I love it when it's in the low 150s. I feel like I have a little bit more definition. I don't have cheekbones. I just have too much fat on my face. I don't have beautiful sculpted cheekbones or anything like that. But I don't know. I just feel like I look a little bit younger when it's thinner because my face is bigger. Um, and and I feel like it makes just my whole body look thinner. Like I said, like I don't notice a huge difference in my stomach area or the rest of myself, like when I go to get on the scale in the morning. But I do notice it in my face, which makes me very happy because everybody sees your face before they see anything else, really. People aren't sitting there staring at my waistline. So there's the good parts. The face is looking a little thinner. The body is feeling a little bit thinner. And the protocol that Dr. Simeon's made is called pounds and inches. We are supposed to be measuring pounds and inches. And I'm a very bad patient because I do not measure my inches. I should, but I don't. I'm lazy. So definitely when you do this diet, definitely weigh yourself, but measure your arms, measure your waist, measure your thighs, measure your hips. Get those measurements so that when you go through periods like this, you can measure yourself and go, whoa, things are still happening. And that'll help you through these stall times. So last time I had a stall, it was 6 days. And by stall, 0.1, 0.2, to me, that's considered a stall too. So we are on day 3 of the stall now. I hope it doesn't go 6 days because I wanted to be down 6 more pounds by this day next week, and that's not happening. I told my husband, at the rate we're going, I am not going to break the 150s, or I'm just going to be like 159, and that's going to make me sad. So I don't know. I just feel like stick with the plan. Stick with the plan. I can't keep doing this and sticking with the plan and having it not come off, right? It can't happen. Just like I went through a bunch of days of gain, that was my fault. Then I went through some significant losses after that. Like my gains were 0.7, 0.1, 0.8, 0.4. And then after that, my losses were 1.7, 1.1, 1.2, 1.1, and 1.2. So maybe I should have bacon again for a day. and just shake it up. That's what I thought the chicken would do, would shake everything up and kind of go, oh, this is something different. And then my body would start kind of metabolizing and working again better than it was before. But that didn't happen. I literally would try it. The apple day is a possibility, but I really don't want to go there. I don't enjoy apple days. So we'll see if I can avoid an apple day at all costs. I like protein too. I don't like to go 24 hours without eating any protein. Make me happy. All right, to the protocol. The last paragraph in the category that he has under making up calories is about eggs. So it's almost like a completely separate topic. So that's why I wanted to pull it out and just talk about it today. It's just a few sentences that he talks about eggs, because eggs are protein. And why do we not have eggs every day on the diet? When we have eggs for our first meal and make it our breakfast with, an omelet with vegetables, spinach, and some green peppers in it. I mean, doesn't that sound amazing? And then have the chicken later on in the day. Well, here's what Dr. Simeon says. He says, many patients ask why eggs are not allowed. The contents of 2 good-sized eggs are roughly the equivalent of 100 grams of meat. But the yolk contains a large amount of fat, and this is undesirable. Very occasionally, we allow egg, either boiled, poached, or raw, to patients who develop an aversion to meat. I don't understand an aversion to meat, like if it's a true allergy or if it's a stall situation. I guess that's a possibility. I haven't had eggs at all on this. All right. So very, very occasionally we allow egg. So it has to be poached, raw, or boiled. You could do probably scrambled eggs, as long as you don't add any oils to the pan, which is kind of hard to do because it likes to stick to the pan if you don't put any oils in it. You might be able to use coconut oil because a lot of people say coconut oil is an acceptable oil and fat on this diet. Dr. Simeon's does not, but he doesn't mention it. But since then, we've learned about the triglycerides and the chain of amino acids and all that, and how it breaks down in our body. And we know that coconut oil is different from the other oils. Keep in mind, coconut oil has a coconut flavoring to it. So if you don't want coconut in your eggs, then you might not want to use coconut oil, or just use such a trace amount, maybe. I don't know. All right, so let's go back. Allow an egg, boiled, poached, or raw, to patients who develop an aversion to meat. But in this case, they must add the white of 3 eggs to 1 whole egg. All right, so instead of 2 eggs, you get 3 egg whites with 1 egg. Okay, and we've mentioned that before, that is a possible substitution. We also mentioned that cottage cheese is a possible substitution. He specifically says, and I found this interesting, it's nice to go back to the original protocol. He says, in countries where cottage cheese is made from skim milk and is available as 100 grams. All right, whoa. In countries where cottage cheese made from skim milk is available, 100 grams may occasionally be used instead of the meat, but no other cheeses are allowed. All right. I don't know if we mentioned that it has to be from skim milk when we talked about cottage cheese in the past. So, and apparently not all countries have cottage cheese made from skim milk. I would guess that America does because we are so diet conscious. But yeah, there you go. In countries where it's made from skim milk. So, all right, I have 2 pieces of chicken in the freezer defrosting. I also have a piece of cod in the refrigerator defrosting. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat one of those today because the 2 pieces of chicken is going to be closer to between 7 and 8 ounces of protein. Fish, well, I'll weigh the fish and see when it comes to the fish. Once I eat those 2, if I go 2 more days on fish and cod with my vegetables and do not see a change, then I am going to do egg. 1 egg, 3 egg whites. Put it in a pan. I'll probably use coconut oil because I'll want to scramble it up. And then I'll add some vegetables to that. It'll be delicious. It'll be a nice little change, a little little frittata, scrambled egg, Mexican kind of, maybe a little tomatoes with it. You're only really supposed to have one vegetable. You're not supposed to mix vegetables, according to his original protocol. So I could stick just to green pepper, but then I have to buy green pepper. I love mushrooms. All right. I don't know if mushrooms are acceptable. Oh, you know what? I think on the approved list, I did read like button mushrooms was on there. I'm pretty sure. All right. So, all right, that's all I have to share with you today. I found it very interesting, his take on eggs, and specifically that we don't have eggs because of the fat content. That's why. If you want to know why, too much fat. All right, that's all for today. We made it through. 17 minutes into class, my student isn't here. All right. I'm going to try to smile now. I don't think I was smiling much through this video. My scrapbooking drama continues still all the way through the night, and I did not sleep much last night at all. So I do believe this stall is my cortisol levels. I've got to learn to get rid of the stress. In the next day or two, it'll happen because we're still ironing some details out. And once they're ironed out, I'm going to really be able to breathe again. I really will. One more wrinkle to iron out. And after we get through that, then we should be smooth sailing. Now I have a lot of work to do to organize for 80 women. Welcome gifts and products and just a whole bunch of stuff. But that's okay. That's okay. As long as there's no problems with the hotel. That's what I want to avoid. All right, that's everything. I'll see you tomorrow. And hopefully, I'm not going to say there's definitely going to be a loss. I'm not, because I feel like maybe we'll go into 5 days. And I feel like if I say I'm going to go 5 days without losing anything, maybe I will, because the opposite always happens. It's like that bizarro opposite world. There was a Seinfeld episode about that where the absolute opposite always happens. So they kind of live in the world of opposites. So let's do that. Let's channel Seinfeld and say, I know I'm not going to lose anything again tomorrow. It's going to be the 4th of 5 or 6 days. See you tomorrow.